Hello everyone and welcome to SwitchUp. Today's video has been sponsored by All In Games, Cubic Games and Collaborator, who are collaborating over the Black Friday period to reduce the price of a large set of their games on the eShop, many of which are now available for some crazy low prices. Thank you to that trio for that sponsorship, and we will be looking at 10 of their games in this video to see what they're all about and see just how cheap you can currently get them for. You can purchase any of these games using the website www.cubicgames.com/Black Friday 13, or of course you can go via the eShop as per usual. And throughout the sale, the trio are also running giveaways to win free game codes, eShop vouchers worth up to $50 or euros, as well as a custom designed Nintendo Switch. Full details of these competitions again can be found via that website. There will be a link to it in the top pinned comment. Okay then, with all that said, let's see what's on offer. First up then we have Beaks, which is currently going for 60% off. Now Beaks is a 2D side-scrolling adventure game set in an open world and uses a cyberpunk setting, clearly having taken inspiration from cyberpunk movies and stories that have become ingrained in popular culture over the years. You play as the titular Beaks, a blue-haired girl who is being hunted by a powerful and enigmatic organisation for her unique abilities. In terms of the game, this will translate into you exploring this open world, getting yourself into combat, be it hand-to-hand or with a variety of weapons, talking to a host of people, having choices to make, having dialogue options at your disposal, and these of course will affect the story, going all guns blazing, using a more stealth approach, trying to be diplomatic, or hacking your way into making progress. It's a lot of fun and has a great vibe to it. Definitely nails that grimy cyberpunk aesthetic that was used to such good effect in popular culture back in the 80s.
In this kid.
I wish there had been another way. But please trust me when I say, this is worth it.
Let's see what's in your pockets, girl.
Welcome back, miss.
And next we have Pharma, which is selling with an impressive 80% off at the moment. This is a business simulation game with a puzzle element to it too. You are in the pharmaceutical business, looking to research a variety of diseases, improving the lives of millions whilst you're at it, but of course wanting to make a nice bit of money along the way. You will need to discover new ingredients, research new technology, and build the production line for the pharmaceuticals to be produced. But of course your conscience will come into play when some of these drugs may have quite serious side effects. Can you live with that as you're making yourself a nice profit? There are a host of challenges and scenarios to try, as well as a free build mode too, as you try to build up your pharmaceutical conglomerate. Now personally, I really enjoy construction business simulating games. I own a host of them on the Switch, and I do own this one physically, and I really enjoy it. If you also enjoy such games, then this one is definitely worth looking at, especially at this current sale price. Next up, another one with 60% off. This is Metamorphosis. This is based on Franz Kafka's book Die Verwandlung and sees you playing as a man that's been turned into a bug. What this equates to is quite a surreal adventure game where you are needing to try and get to the bottom of what's quite a bizarre situation. It really plays into that classic storytelling trope of everyday items that are normally quite mundane suddenly becoming huge obstacles in your way, or potentially quite a dangerous threat to you. If you think the premise sounds interesting, or of course you're a fan of Kafka's work, it may well be worth you checking this one out, again, especially with 60% off.
How are we to avoid those in office becoming deeply corrupt when everything is devoid of meaning? That is why...
Next one then, a very enjoyable game this. This is Red Wings Aces of the Sky, which has a very decent 75% off. This is an arcadey action game based on some classic historical warplanes and will see you needing to use your unique skills and develop your pilot aim in order to take down your opponents and become the ace of the sky. It uses a lovely hand-drawn, almost comic book art style, and to be honest the action wouldn't be out of place in a comic book either. If that wasn't enough, you can take on the game in co-op with 2-player local play, which really does ramp up the fun, and at 75% off, this one is an absolute steal. We, the Revolution, another game at 75% off, is quite a unique game set in the world of the French Revolution. You play as a judge of the Revolutionary Tribunal and will need to pass sentences on people, but in a world where you cannot tell a friend from an enemy, each decision you make may well have consequences against you and your family. If you like games where you have moral dilemmas to solve or personal choices to try and make, then this is a very intriguing and thought-provoking game. It also uses an absolutely lovely looking low poly art style. If you're looking for something more action oriented, you have Blazing Beaks, which is selling for 86% off. This is a top-down action roguelite, a genre that's become very popular in the last few years, but I like the way that this one goes about it. Basically, you have artifacts within the levels that have the potential to make you stronger, but as you pick them up within that run, they will actually have an adverse effect on you for the rest of that level, making it harder obviously to complete. It's that classic risk and reward. How greedy will you be? This is a game that Mark and I have played a lot of in co-op over the years, and I think it's actually available to play with up to 4 players. It's a lot of fun and up there with some of the best in the genre. Staying with that action theme then, and another game with 80% off, and another game that's now incredibly cheap, this is HyperParasite. Another game with roguelite elements. This is a twin stick shooter that has that kind of arena based combat to it that the classic twin stick shooters had. Again, this one has quite an interesting gameplay quirk to it, in that you are playing as the titular HyperParasite, an evil alien with the ability to take over other characters, and there are over 60 characters to try and collect and control, each with their own attack moves. Another game that can be played locally in 2-player co-op, and that 80% discount makes this another perfect pick up and play option. Then we have Help Will Come Tomorrow, which is also at 80% off. This takes place in 1917 Russia, at the peak of World War I, with revolution very much in the air. After a Trans-Siberian railway train crashes, you take on the role of the survivors, a very different group of people, all coming from different classes in society. This leads to a survival game where you must wait for help, looking to expand your camp, gather resources, and explore your surroundings. The crux of the game though comes in the personality of the characters, where you need to try and keep a group of characters that are very different together, mitigating conflicts and taking care of morale. Another very interesting and thought-provoking game, and if you are up for the challenge of trying to survive the Siberian frost, this is definitely the time to grab it. Next we have Tharsis, coming in at 60% off. This is a turn-based space survival strategy game with the actions and outcomes of the in-game scenarios decided by dice rolls. It's effectively a digital board game where the decisions you make and the roll of the aforementioned dice will affect your mission's success. You must guide your crew through onboard disasters, food shortages, and the general unforgiving nature of space. You must try to keep your health and your sanity as your ship crumbles around you. Allow things to get bad enough and cannibalism becomes a real possibility. If you enjoy strategy games or games based around board game mechanics or have any sort of affinity for space, you'll have a great time with this one.
None of this makes any sense. It keeps changing. Is this real? Is this something that's happening now or something that's going to happen?
And finally we have RaceDieRun, which is selling at 90% off and is a racing game, but you don't race against opponents. This is all about getting to the end of the track in the fastest time possible. To make this so much harder, there are a variety of obstacles in the way. Your vehicle moves automatically, although you do have a speed boost button, and you can use the shoulder buttons to get out of the way of the oncoming obstacles. It moves at a good old pace, and you'll need to have your wits about you to get out of the way of things in time. It's another game with pick up and play at the very core of its mechanics, and for under £1 here in the UK or your regional equivalent, it's an absolute bargain for when you just want 10-15 minutes to blast through something. So there you have it. I want to say another big thank you to the trio of Cubic Games, All In Games and Clabberter for sponsoring this video. It's a great deal they've got going on the eShop at the minute between them, and I'm sure you'll agree, quite an eclectic collection of games covering a number of different genres and suitable for a variety of moods. For more information on the three companies and the deals and giveaways they're looking to do during this sale period, please check out the link in the top pinned comment. A big thank you as always to our Patreons for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, stay safe, and until next time, happy gaming.